Umar ibn Khattab was the second Caliph of Muslims at a crucial time, because at the same time, Muslims were fighting against the world's biggest superpowers, the Roman and Persian empires. The difference between these three empires was that the Roman Empire was the world's biggest superpower for the last 1,000 years, and the Persian Empire was also the world's second biggest superpower for the last 800 years. And at the same time, who was fighting against these two? The Riyadh of Medina, which was built only a few years before all this. But instead of being afraid of all these things, Hazrat Umar and the rest of the companions buried the first Khalifa, Hazrat Abu Bakr, near the Prophet. After which, for the first time, Hazrat Umar became the Khalifa of Muslims. Now, when Prophet Muhammad was alive, people used to call him by the title of Rasulullah, but after his death, people were confused as to which title should be used for Hazrat Abu Bakr. So Hazrat Abu Bakr chose the title of Khalifa instead of titles like Badshah, Caesar, and Kisra. And now, after Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar chose the title of Amir al-Mu'mineen for himself. When Hazrat Umar became the Khalifa, one army of Muslims was fighting in the leadership of Khalid ibn Walid in the Roman Empire, and the other small army was in the Persian Empire. But Hazrat Umar was more concerned about the Persian Empire's army than the Roman Empire's army, because there was no general like Khalid ibn Walid. After becoming the Khalifa, when he saw that people from all over Arabia were coming to Medina to pledge allegiance to him, so he used this time to start a new army to help the Muslims in the Persian Empire. But there was a big problem here that Hazrat Umar kept calling Muslims to jihad in Masjid an-Nawawi. But for the first time, he saw that there was no one among the Muslims ready to fight the Persian Empire. And this was not because the Muslims were tired of fighting, but because they knew that Khalid ibn Walid was not in the Persian Empire, but in the Roman Empire, and it is impossible to win any war without them. Seeing this, Hazrat Umar understood that the new Muslims were more attached to Khalid bin Walid than to Allah, which was a big problem for the Muslims of this empire. After 3 days, Hazrat Umar gave a very harsh speech with anger. So one of them, Abu Ubaid, who was not even a companion, stood up and said, "I am ready for jihad," after which more and more people started coming forward. So Hazrat Umar made an army of 1,000 and sent Abu Ubaid to the Persian Empire. But this was a big risk, because if this army was defeated by the Persian Empire, then Muslims would never fight without Khalid bin Walid. And this is what happened. This army lost very badly in the Persian Empire. But wait, this army is still on the way. It has not reached yet. When this army was slowly moving towards the Persian Empire, then in the Roman Empire, the Muslims surrounded Damascus, Syria's most important city, in the leadership of Khalid bin Walid. And this army did not know for a long time that Abu Bakr had passed away, and after him, Hazrat Umar became the new Caliph of the Muslims. So in the leadership of Khalid bin Walid, this army tried for many days to somehow enter this fort. But Damascus was not an ordinary city. It was called the Paradise of Syria at that time. And until now, the Arabs used to import from this city, meaning Damascus was the most powerful city in this area. And at that time, it was such a city for the Arabs, just like New York is for people today. So the Muslims had surrounded the most powerful city of that time, Damascus, from all sides. And Khalid bin Walid had put up his best generals at every main gate of this city. One of the generals was Abu Ubaidah ibn Jarrah. After a lot of efforts, Damascus could not be conquered. But then one day, a man from Damascus came to Khalid bin Walid and told him that a few days ago, a son was born in the house of the leader of Damascus. To celebrate this, he held a very big party, in which he also called the army of the Roman Empire. And in this party, they will drink so much that no one will be in their senses. So Khalid ibn Walid set up a group of Muslims in front of this gate that night. And then he climbed the wall of Damascus with only a few Muslims and entered inside, and opened the gate from inside for the Muslims. And in this way, a sea of Muslims entered inside the fort. And very quickly, the Muslims started conquering this fort from the eastern side. But the general of this fort was sitting on the other side of this city. So when he found out that now he had no option, and the Muslims had entered the fort, and in a short while, the Muslims would conquer the whole city. So he quickly sent a letter to Abu Ubaid, the second general of the Muslims, that I am surrendering this city to the Muslims, on one condition that the Muslims will not take any bribes. Now Abu Ubaid ibn Jarrah did not know that Khalid ibn Walid and his soldiers were going to conquer Damascus. So he accepted the surrender of that Roman general. Now, after a while, when Khalid ibn Walid found out about the decision of Abu Ubaid, then if he wanted, he could have torn this agreement of Abu Ubaid and conquered Damascus by force of sword. And he could have taken all the bribes from here. But Khalid ibn Walid accepted the agreement of Abu Ubaid and ordered his entire army to retreat. And in this way, Damascus, the most powerful city of that time, came under the control of Hazrat Umar. Now all this was happening here in the Roman Empire. But far from all this, the army that was sent to the Persian Empire was about to reach. And as soon as it reached, Abu Ubaid saw that the Persian Empire had prepared a very large army in front of him. When Abu Ubaid reached the Persian Empire with the Muslim army, Abu Ubaid, not Abu Ubaid, these are two different personalities. Abu Ubaid and his army reached the Persian Empire and saw that the Persian king had prepared 3 very large armies against the Muslims in the absence of Khalid ibn Walid, which were moving very fast towards the Muslims. Finally, the Muslims and the Persian army faced each other in front of this bridge. So the Persian general offered the Muslims that either you cross the bridge and come this way, or let us come that way. Now here, Abu Ubaid made a very big mistake. He did not listen to his Muslim generals and himself ordered the Muslim army to cross the bridge. Abu Ubaid himself was not a companion, and his age was also very young. When Hazrat Umar made him the general of the Muslim army, the companions said that you should not make him, but make a companion general. But Abu Ubaid was the only person who was standing for jihad first. That is why Hazrat Umar made him the commander of such an army, in which there were many companions under him. Finally, the Muslim army, which was almost 9,000, crossed the bridge and the war began. After conquering Damascus, and the city of Hira of the Persian Empire in the Roman Empire, now everyone in the world began to consider Muslims as a serious threat. So when Abu Ubaid ordered his horsemen to attack the Persian Empire, they were scared to see elephants in the Persian army for the first time, and instead of moving forward, they started running backwards. Seeing this, the Persian Empire attacked the Muslims, and their elephants started martyring many Muslims. One elephant even made Abu Ubaid fall from his horse and then crushed him by putting his feet on his chest. This was the first time in history that a Muslim general was martyred in a war. So when the Muslims saw their general falling, their courage was completely broken, and they started retreating from the battlefield. When the Muslims ran to the bridge, they saw that someone had broken the bridge. Now either this bridge was broken by someone from the Muslim army, or it was broken on the orders of Abu Ubaid, so that it would be impossible for the Muslims to leave the war. So now, when there was no other way, many Muslims started jumping into the river. Seeing all this, the second general of the Muslims, Muzana, reorganized the army again and attacked the Persians for the last time with full force. And he gave orders to the Muslims standing behind him to quickly repair the bridge. Finally, because of Muzana's bravery, 3-0 Muslims crossed the bridge and came to this side. But only 3-0 Muslims were able to cross the bridge out of 9-0. This means that 6-0 Muslims were martyred in this war. This was the first time that a Muslim could lose a war so badly. And this war was also the first war of Hazrat Umar's Caliphate in which he was defeated. Now, once again, the Muslims saw that on one side, under the leadership of Khalid ibn Walid, they conquered a great city like Damascus. And on the other side, the Muslims lost an important war in the Persian Empire, after which these things started to spread throughout the empire. Before this, when Khalid ibn Walid was in the Persian Empire, Muslims were winning every war there and Muslims were losing in the Roman Empire. Then, when Khalid ibn Walid went from the Persian Empire to the Roman Empire, Muslims started winning wars in the Roman Empire and lost in the Persian Empire. With all these circumstances, the young Muslims started to have this mindset that only Saifullah can win a war. Khalid ibn Walid cannot get the leadership, and without him, no one can win a war. So, when Khalid ibn Walid was the general of the Muslim army, his army also fought with full morale. But when Khalid ibn Walid was not there, Muslims did not fight with that passion. Hazrat Umar, the Caliph of the Muslims sitting in Medina, knew all these things very well. So, to control all these circumstances, he took a very tough decision. And now the time has come for the great general of the Muslim army, Khalid ibn Walid, to be removed from his position, and a new army chief will be appointed in his place.